God's about to open up supernatural doors, turn impossible situations around. Your faith is going to bring freedom, promotions, breakthroughs, abundance, the fullness of your destiny. Other people may try to discourage you. Don't let them talk you out of what God has whispered in your spirit. His dream for your life is much bigger than your own. The Bible tells about a lady who had a bleeding disorder for 12 years. She'd gone to many doctors, spent all of her money, trying everything she could to get well, but nothing had helped. Then one day, Jesus came passing through her town. She had heard the stories of how He had healed a crippled man, calmed the seas, opened blind eyes, cured leprosy. Something came alive on the inside of her. She said to herself, if I can just get to Jesus and touch the fringe of His robe, I know I'll be healed. The problem was there was a huge crowd surrounding Jesus. It looked impossible, but she pushed her way through the crowd. I can hear her saying, excuse me, I need to get by. Pardon me, I need to get up front. I don't mean to be rude, but move out of my way. When this lady was the closest to her healing, the opposition was the greatest. She had to fight through the crowd. The crowd represents broken dreams, things that didn't work out, thoughts telling you it'll never get better, never meet the right person, never see the promise come to pass. The crowd can be the negative words people have spoken over us, telling us you're not talented enough, you can't accomplish your dream. If you're going to reach your potential, you're going to have to fight through some things. You have to be more determined than what's trying to stop you. Finally, the woman reached out and touched the edge of Jesus' robe. All of a sudden, Jesus stopped. He knew somebody had touched him, drawing the miracle-working power out of him. Jesus looked at this woman, smiled, and said, your faith has made you whole. Go in peace, you've been healed. In many of the miracles Jesus performed, He laid His hands on people and they were healed. But in this case, Jesus didn't lay His hands on the woman laid her hands on Jesus. Notice the key was her faith. What about you? Are you reaching out and touching Him? Are you living with expectancy, knowing that He's bigger than your problems, greater than that sickness, more powerful than the addiction? Or are you discouraged, thinking it will never change? Well, Joel, I'm waiting on God to do something. Maybe God's waiting on you. This lady didn't wait for Jesus to lay hands on her. She laid hands on Him. This should be our normal way of life. Lord, thank You that it's on the way. I'm looking for Your goodness. I'm looking for Your favor. Not next week, not next month, not next year, but right now. Now maybe you've been praying, believing, expecting for a long time. Stay in faith. You are closer than you think. It's going to happen sooner than it looks. There's no sign of things improving. Everything seems the same, but get ready. God is full of surprises. Many times He doesn't do things in a normal way where it happens gradually. He'll do it suddenly, out of the ordinary. You didn't see it coming. It's because day after day, week after week, you kept touching Him. You kept expecting it. You kept talking like it was going to happen. You kept thanking Him that it was on the way. Your faith is going to make you whole. Your faith is going to bring you out of debt. Your faith is going to break the addiction. Your faith is going to help you accomplish your dreams. I believe your faith is going to take you further than you've ever imagined. Mark chapter 10, there was a blind beggar named Bartimaeus sitting on the side of the road. As Jesus passed by, Bartimaeus started shouting, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Technically, Jesus wasn't the Son of David. When He cried out, Jesus, Son of David, He was saying Messiah, Deliverer, Healer, Most High God. Jesus stopped in His tracks. I can imagine Him thinking, now here's someone who knows who I am. Here's someone who believes I have all power. Someone who's expecting my goodness. When Bartimaeus started shouting, people told him, be quiet. You're making a scene. That's the way it is. People will try to talk you out of your miracle. I can hear someone saying, Bartimaeus, you're blind. You've been this way your whole life. Just accept it. Their problem is they don't know what God has put in you. Freedom is coming. Joy is coming. Breakthroughs are coming. Abundance is coming. God whispers dreams and promises in your spirit, what you can become. Now, the enemy will try to drown them out. Other people may try to discourage you. Don't let them talk you out of what God has whispered in your spirit. His dream for your life is much bigger than your own. When Jesus heard Bartimaeus, He stopped and said, "Let him come to me." The Scripture says Bartimaeus threw off his coat. Now, this was significant. In those days, people who had a legitimate disability were given an official coat from the government that gave them the right to beg. The beggar's coat was very valuable. It's how they made their living. On the other hand, it labeled you as a beggar, the same way we recognize people by their uniforms. When Bartimaeus heard Jesus say, "Come," the first thing he did was throw off his coat. His attitude was, "This is a new day. I am done feeling sorry for myself, done wearing this label that says disadvantage. I'm done begging." He changed his mindset from a victim to a victor. I wonder how many of us are wearing a beggar's coat. Had a bad childhood, Joel. Have a reason to be bitter. Came down with this illness. Lost a loved one. My company didn't give me the promotion. We've all been hurt. Everybody's had bad breaks. Everyone's made mistakes. If you're going to get well, you need to take off that beggar's coat. Take off the self-pity, the hurts, the disappointments. You can't reach your destiny making excuses. And as long as you're wearing the beggar's coat, giving yourself the right to be angry, offended, disadvantaged, it will keep you from the new levels that belong to you. When Bartimaeus left his coat, he was not only leaving his livelihood, he was leaving the negative things of his past. Your faith is going to open new doors. Your faith is going to bring unexpected favor. Keep talking like it's going to happen, acting like it's going to happen, thinking like it's going to happen. God is passing by. Reach out to Him and touch Him. Release your faith. If you'll do this, I believe and declare, like Bartimaeus, your faith is going to take you where you can't go on your own. God's about to open up supernatural doors, turn impossible situations around. Your faith is going to bring freedom, promotions, breakthroughs, abundance, the fullness of your destiny. We all face situations that seem impossible. The medical report says we're not going to get well. We raised our child in church, but now he's off course. In our career, we worked hard, took the extra training, gave it our best efforts, but now we've peaked, gone as far as our education allows. This is where Peter was in the Scripture. Luke chapter 5, he and his partners had been out fishing all night and caught nothing. He was an experienced fisherman. They went to places where there were always fish, tried again and again, hour after hour, but came up empty. Finally, Peter said, "We've caught nothing." In other words, couldn't get any worse. In the morning, as they were coming in from a long night of frustration, they saw Jesus on the shore. Jesus asked if he could borrow Peter's boat so he could teach the large crowd of people who had gathered there. When he finished teaching, he told Peter to do something that seemed illogical. Didn't make sense to Peter. Jesus said, "Peter, go back and throw out your nets into the deep, and you'll catch a great haul of fish." You can imagine what Peter must have thought. Are you kidding? We've been out fishing all night. We're experts. We know what we're doing. There's no fish out there. But instead, Peter did something that we all must do if we're going to see promises come to pass. He said, "Master, we've worked all night and caught nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, I will throw out the nets." He didn't deny the facts. He said, in effect, the odds are against us. It looks impossible. Nevertheless, because of what you say, I'm going to do it. He went back and caught so many fish that their net began to break. The catch filled their boat and their partner's boat. Practical people would have missed the miracle. People who only look at things logically, reasonably, statistically would have talked themselves out of it. But God is looking for nevertheless people. For people who say, the medical report doesn't look good, nevertheless, God is restoring health back to me. My child is off course, nevertheless, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Doesn't look like I'll ever get out of debt, nevertheless, blessings are chasing me down. I will lend and not borrow. I'm a nevertheless person. I know freedom is in my future. I know one touch of God's favor can turn any situation around. Nevertheless, people say, I still believe. I'm still going to try again. Nevertheless, I'm going to keep praying, expecting, and believing. If you don't learn to become a nevertheless person, you won't reach the fullness of your destiny. That's why He puts things in your heart that are bigger than you can achieve. Without His help, it won't happen. God wouldn't have put the desire in you if He didn't already have a way to bring it to pass. When David went out to face Goliath, he was only a teenager, been taking care of his father's sheep. He didn't have any military training, any experience, any armor. Goliath was twice David's size, skilled soldier, but David was a nevertheless person. He thought, all I have is a slingshot and a few stones. This giant is much bigger, stronger. Nevertheless, if God be for me, who dare be against me? This is what Abraham did. God gave him the promise that he and Sarah were going to have a child. They were way too old to have a baby. This would defy the laws of nature. In fact, when Sarah overheard the Lord tell Abraham that she would have a baby within a year, the Scripture says Sarah laughed. She said, oh yeah, right, that's a good one. Abraham and I are going to have a baby? I don't think so. But Abraham added the nevertheless. Yes, we're too old. Nevertheless, God can make a way. Yes, it's impossible. Nevertheless, God can do the impossible. Too many people have a no way mentality. No way I'll get out of debt. I'm so far down in the hole. No way I'll get this promotion. No way I'll be successful. I come from the wrong family. God is not looking for no way people. He's looking for nevertheless people. Has God put something in your heart that seems unlikely, so big that your first thought was to laugh? He whispers in your spirit that you're going to live in a nice neighborhood. You're going to lead your company in sales. You're going to see your family restored. You're going to write a best-selling book. You're going to get healthy again. On the surface, it seems so far out. This legal situation looks as though it will be the end of me. Nevertheless, no weapon formed against me will prosper. This dream has taken a long time. Nevertheless, what God started in my life, He will finish. Get rid of the no way mentality. Switch over to a nevertheless mentality. In the Old Testament, Moses sent 12 men in to spy out the promised land, see what it was like. 10 of them came back and said, Moses, it's impossible. There are giants in the land. We don't have a chance. They had a no way mentality. That generation of Israelites never did make it into the promised land. Don't be a no way person, be a nevertheless person. That means you choose to believe even when the odds are against you. You stay in faith even when you don't see a way. You thank God for His goodness even when it looks impossible. Don't give up and quit believing. Go back and try again. God controls the universe. May not have happened yet, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Just as an abundance of fish was waiting for Peter, God has an abundance of what you need waiting for you. You haven't missed it. It's not too late. If you'll have this nevertheless mentality, He's going to lead you into increase, into favor, into new opportunities. What's the message? Don't let the enemy have the last word. Always add the nevertheless. The medical report doesn't look good. Nevertheless, the Lord is my healer. Coworker did me wrong. Nevertheless, God is fighting my battles. Went through a loss. Nevertheless, God has beauty for these ashes. Some of the things that have you worried right now, things that have you upset, discouraged, would all change if you would start adding the nevertheless. Every time something negative happens, every attack, disappointment, delay, answer back with the nevertheless. When you get rid of that no way mentality and have this nevertheless mentality, God's about to turn things around. He's about to open new doors, divine connections, new opportunities are headed your way.